Good morning. It is currently 4 a.m. We just got up and got ready so that we can head back out into the park for another day of adventuring in Patagonia. We didn't get a lot of sleep last night because there's a bar right down the street that was blaring music, so I'm definitely exhausted. We made our instant coffee and we have about a 2-hour drive. We're hoping to make it for sunrise, so here we go.
Alright, so we just made it here. We're about 5 kilometers away from the park entrance. However, there is an overlook over a lake and you get a great view of the entire mountain range. And so we made it here just before daybreak and we are now watching the sunrise and it is already beautiful.
Next, we're headed into the park. We're going to go check out a waterfall as well as the Great Glacier, which feeds this lake here behind us. So we have a really exciting day in the park, so let's go.
So right now we're on a little 8-minute walk to get out to Salto Grande, which is the most prominent waterfall here in the park. We just got done at the waterfall. We came down here to the ferry parking lot. We were sitting here for just a few minutes and then all of a sudden all kinds of shuttle buses started showing up. There's now probably 50 people here already, all waiting to get on the ferry. So we're gonna go get over there and get ourselves a seat before we don't have a seat to make it across to start our hike. So the ferry took us across Lake Pejo to Grande Paine, and that's the starting point for the Great Glacier hike. So on the Great Glacier hike, there's 2 different outlooks. We just passed the first one, which is about 3 miles down the trail, and then the second one is about 7 miles down the trail. So we for sure want to make it to the second outlook, which is 7 miles down the trail, which means we have to do 14 miles today. However, because we're ambitious and maybe just a little bit crazy, there's actually another point about 1.5 miles past that where there's a suspension bridge. So we're really hoping to make it all the way down to that. So we have 9 hours today to get about 18 miles done. I give us only about 25% chance of being able to get all the way onto that suspension bridge and back. We might have to turn around at the second outlook and only do about 14 miles today instead. So far we've kept a pace at about 23 minutes per mile. We have to keep it under 30 minutes per mile if we want to make it all the way onto the bridge and back in time for the ferry. This has been a super beautiful hike so far. We just got the first glimpse of the glacier. We hiked through a canyon. We've only had to do about 1,000 feet of elevation gain so far. Total, it's only 2,000 feet today. When we did the other hike, we had to do nearly 4,000 feet of elevation gain. So this hike is longer than the other hike, but there's a lot less elevation gain and it's not nearly as hot today. So far, it's been way easier. On to the next point, about 5 miles down the trail. The best peanut butter honey sandwich ever. We just made it to the point in the trail where it splits to either go to the glacier overlook or continue on to the suspension bridge. At that point, it was about 7 miles. So we're already committed to doing 14 miles today. And we had to make the decision onto whether or not we wanted to continue to the overlook or continue to the bridge. The overlook was probably only another half mile away. The first bridge looks like it's at least a mile away. So we committed to going to the first bridge and we'll have to hustle back to make it in time for the ferry. So far we've averaged about a 25-minute mile, so we are well below the 30-minute mile that we need to make. So I think there's still a pretty good chance we actually make this. Time to keep crushing this trail.
So we made it here to the first bridge. It was a haul. Unfortunately, we don't have time to make it to the second bridge, which I hear is the best bridge, but we don't want to push it. We want to make our ferry. This bridge was incredible, and what it looks like from the map is it's only uphill from here to get to the second and the third bridge. So it was truly incredible. I've never walked on any bridge like it before. It's truly a suspension bridge. And now we're gonna book it back because the wind is picking up. There's a lot of rain clouds and we have 8 miles to go and we are cooked. So no more vlogging, just booking it back. So we are taking a quick breather. This is an absolute killer hike. So sore, my ankles, my knees, everything hurt. But what I've noticed today is that we really haven't seen much for wildlife. This area is known for having deer, guanaco, which is a relative to alpacas and llamas, as well as camels. And they're also known for having a lot of cougars in the area, although we haven't seen any yet. They also have a lot of big hares and over 110 species of birds. Now we are going to continue about 4 miles left in the hike. So we finally made it back to the lodge. We have some amazing ham and cheese pizza that we bought. It took forever, so they comped us by giving us some Sprites. We are very content just chilling here while we're waiting for our boat to arrive. There's a boat, a little red boat that arrived at 6, and we thought that our boat was supposed to come at 6:30. Everyone rushed to the little red boat. Hasn't taken off yet, but we've asked the waitress like 3 times if that's the last boat or not, and she says another one's coming at 6:30, which should be our boat, so fingers crossed it shows up so that we can make it back to the mainland and our car. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to follow along for the rest of our adventures here in Chile.